right now.
All right, awesome.
He's gonna be here yet, so hold on, let me. Okay, for the last. Okay, not gonna pull that window down again.
Should be good.
We're good.
All right, awesome.
Gonna be here yet, so
all right, awesome.
Let me. Working out the kinks. Okay.
Yep, there you go. That's what you got.
Ready to go. So let's just wait for some people to come in, I guess.
Yeah, that's definitely the move.
This is the one part I haven't really prepared for. It's just like what we talk about at the start, right?
The wait, yeah.
Holidays. Oh, I did it again. Let me.
Oh shoot.
Last time.
All right, are we good now?
I think we're good there.
All right.
Audio is echoed and desynced from video. Okay, thanks, Dylan. Is it still bad? Hold on.
Let me see if I can hear anything.
I'm assuming it's probably for John also. But
I can see that, yeah.
Audio is echoed and desynced. What's up, Brandon? I think
yes,
it's fine
sir.
Now. Okay, I think what happened was, dude, this is really weird. I have this set up with your POV in the background, but I have like the actual stream mode for it, so I just saw your hands like go out to the side. Like you're coming on my OBS window.
Yes, sir. We do what we gotta do.
Yeah, I think the audio desync was just I was watching the stream when it came up, and then I turned that audio off. Who's the guy on the bottom?
Right, yeah, I wonder. What must be the new kid on the block, honestly.
Yeah, I have a new friend. He's got his gear on. I need to get better. I need to have my own material. But
might be a decent YouTuber, who knows?
Christo, what's up?
What's up, brother?
Is how I did the face cam, which I forgot about that. We had a cam finals for MKU a few seasons ago.
Yes, sir.
In a minute though. I think that's for season 14, but I don't remember exactly.
I'd be nice to have something like that again.
Yeah. So, I hope everybody had a good Christmas, right? Or if you celebrate other stuff. John's audio is significantly louder. Okay. We're going to turn you down just a little bit then.
Well, is it just significantly louder, or am I just loud? Because it's either one of those two. I don't... or both.
Okay, hold on. Tell me if that's any better. I think it'll be better. It's crazy that Alright, also Alex, thanks for the follow before the stream. Didn't go unnoticed. Alright, we got 20 viewers already, that's kind of cool. Haven't actually started doing anything yet, so... Apparently that's way better also.
Yeah, I can see that. I think either way, looking pretty good for viewership. I say let's start Giviner.
Start Giviner?
Yes, sir.
Alright. Jules Luffy, welcome. Alright, so... I've had some ideas, I guess, John, and it's mainly, I've been doing the streams this last year and all that kind of stuff, and it's like, alright, well, what can you really do that isn't just gameplay sometimes? And you kind of have to think out of the box, right?
Absolutely.
I know you've been doing the YouTube videos, so sometimes you have to get a little bit creative, right? To,
absolutely,
generate the clicks. Maybe make some thumbnails and all that kind of stuff. That's the stuff I'm too lazy to do right now. You're ahead of me in that game. But, one thing I thought about is, like, wouldn't it be fun if, we could, like, start, having community discussions or chats and all that kind of stuff? Maybe people can come by, get somebody interesting on.
I mean...
And, just wish you luck on your interview, by the way.
Oh, thanks. And, I hope I get the job, too. I've been, putting in the work, putting in the hours. Hopefully we can make something out of this. Anyways, I think when it comes to, like, making content for this game, there's definitely a lot of challenges that come with it because, at the forefront, this is Mario Kart that we're talking about, and most of the people who do watch Mario Kart videos are mainly in it for, like, the gameplay aspect of it. People are in it for the entertainment, and that's something that I think I learned when I kind of switched onto the gameplay side of it in regards to the videos that I've been making, because I would say it was like late July that I really started putting more time into, like creating entertaining videos that were just like gameplay. And even though it's not as like innovative as the videos that I was making earlier on in my YouTube journey, if you want to call it that, I would say that I think it definitely sparks more interest out of people just because, like, especially with Lounge too, because Lounge is like you can get a lot of exciting of like things that go down in lounge, some cool clips and shit like that. So that's all cool. But it's really tough with this game when it comes to making content. I went off on a serious tangent, but the reason why I bring that up is just because
Don't worry.
I feel like yeah, I feel
That's what
like
we're here for.
there's it's tough to say because I feel like the average person who thinks that they want to go more than just like uploading gameplay, I feel like that person thinks that they have to go above and beyond in terms of innovation and creativity. And I kind of set the standard for that when I started making like YouTube videos that were more than just gameplay. Like when I started out, I was making like analysis videos, how to use certain items in certain places, that kind of stuff. And at the end of the day, it's like for the new person who wants to get into that kind of stuff, you don't have to go that above and beyond. I honestly think that like if you're making videos, if you're streaming or whatever, I genuinely believe as long as you have like live commentary going, you're already going above and beyond. And I think a lot of people need to realize that who are interested in this kind of stuff and interested in seeing, you know, where the world of content creation could take them if they want to do it in Mario Kart. I think all that is I think it's just important to realize that, you know, it's not as like I don't think it is as complex getting into like content creation in this game as people make it out to be, in my opinion.
I would say probably you just need to, you know, I mean, I think you mentioned it, but just be willing to take the dive in, right? It's
Absolutely.
kind of a scary world at times, and when there's not a lot of people that are doing it, you know, you kind of have to be one of the people that takes the plunge, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, I feel like you were definitely, at least with YouTube, one of the first people to really do that in the 8D scene. And, again, that's why I think that you're going to be a good person to talk to here. There's a lot of interesting things to bring up because, you know, we've had our content creators before and all that, but I'm not sure how many of them have really focused on, you know, just like things that you can do on MKC and all of that, whether it just be like, you know, squad cube madness or just uploading MKU videos and all that kind of stuff. It's like people, you know, you see a lot of people, I think in MKW especially, it's just like, all right, let's make these videos about MKW. You know, Rate That Custom Track was like one of the OG ones. Oh yeah, we gotta discuss the lighting thing. Remember, that's gonna be a random thing. John's camera may. John's camera goes off sometimes. Just letting you all know.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening here, but you know what? It is what it is. We'll run with it.
Yeah. If it happens, it happens. Hopefully,
it does.
It calms down a little bit. It was looking good for a little bit there. But, you know, you have like stuff like Rate That Custom Track. That there's one YouTuber. Actually, it may be somebody not to be named, but just like it's like, okay, if I pull like this, if I get hit by this item, then the video ends and all that kind of stuff. But like, you know, even Mankalore like did like the item smuggling videos and all of that kind of in that jazz. But it's like, how many people are like really pushing like the more meta stuff, right? You know,
yeah, exactly.
There's only so much you can do, like Brandon's saying right here. It's like, what's the difference between this squad queue and this tier A, etc.? It's like, well, how do you consistently become interesting, I guess?
Yeah, and that's the big question,
right?
Yeah, you never really know when it comes to, you know, just trying to consistently up the levels with your content. It can be quite the challenge, and it's something that I definitely experienced early on. It's like, I would say in like the first 4 months of when it was, oh, nice. We like that. Okay, yeah. So I would say in like the first 4 months of me actively making YouTube videos, I even experienced that because I felt like, you know, I was uploading analysis videos. I was uploading how to play Mario Kart Deluxe videos. And over time, it just kind of felt like that was getting a little stale. And I think that's what it boils down to. It's like, it's very challenging to consistently stay entertaining and consistently like innovate and consistently like up the levels of what you're making. That, you know, sometimes that's like the main focus. But I think what it comes down to is like, if you're having a fun time, if you're genuinely enjoying what you're doing in regards to like what kind of content you're making, if you're making videos, if you're streaming or whatever, I just feel like the entertainment side of it will come naturally. Because when you're having fun, when you're having a good time, you're gonna show it. And I think, and this is another really big challenge that creators face too, is that on the days that you're not having fun, on the days that you aren't on your A game, and I've experienced this. Like, I did YouTube for like 11 months straight. I experienced this. When you're not having fun, when you're on like not at your peak, it can kind of show. And I think that especially is important to consider for streamers, just simply because you're live on the spot. People are expecting you to perform at a certain level in regards to how you present yourself. And if you don't meet that criteria, then people might not feel that good. At the same time, I do think there is definitely benefit to just being your full self, whether you're at that high point or not. But and that definitely shows your authenticity. But yeah, there's definitely only so much you can do. And I also think that the mental side of it can definitely play a big part, whether you embrace it or not. It's just a little bit of food for thought there.
I mean, I'm totally with you, right? Now, I think there's a lot of people that, they get into like this Twitch or YouTube thing, and they have like, and you see it sometimes, people just like talk about like the numbers aspect of it all.
Oh
and
God, yeah.
People are when that's like the main focus and stuff, and like obviously like it's important if you want to figure out if you're viable to like do something and like be motivated. Like numbers are in a sense your friends, but there's a lot of people that's like, well, you're starting off, you're trying to get off the ground, but you're not getting like the number goals that you want, and you just gotta be the way you gotta look at it is like, well, what are you doing this for? Because if you're not enjoying the process itself, you're never going to make it, I think. And I think
Absolutely
this is where
agree.
we get in. I think this is where like we're like in a kind of weird position because, MK is our favorite game. Well, maybe not favorite, but as far as like what we like to spend, yeah, it's up there. It's like what we like to spend our time doing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's what we're into, right? And I think there's probably a lot of people in the chat that are like that too. I know Jack was just messaging about how like we kind of strive to be like the Smash community in some ways, and there's some differences and all that kind of stuff. And me personally, like I was in the Smash community for a few years, and I enjoyed playing it enough, but it's not like my favorite game and all that. And it's like if I wanted to do content creation, it's like, well, I don't want to do it for Smash, even if maybe that's a bigger game, because that's not the thing that is meaningful to me. I'd just be doing it because I'm trying to get numbers, and you can't fake that stuff, I want to say. So
yeah,
I'm totally with you.
It just doesn't come as naturally to you.
Yeah. And again, here's how I see it. There's a lot of streamers and stuff out there that they play a game and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I was talking about this with Cinda literally last night. He's been playing Super Mario 64, doing speedruns and stuff and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, well, what kind of got you into that? And it's like, well, you have these really talented speedrunners that stream all the time, and it piques your interest. And if we're not really having something like that in our community, I can't help but feel like we need more people to. Sorry, my stream is kind of dropping frames. Hopefully, it's good now, but you need people to want to be inspired.
I was stressed out for a second there.
Yeah, and that begins with people, actually creating content. And the thing that's a barrier right now is you want to make you want to make it worth it for yourself, and you got to believe in something. But sometimes you have to be the person that builds something, and that can be intimidating at times. But hey, if you like the game and this is what you want to do, well, I think you're frozen for me right now.
That's brutal.
Okay, I think we're back. It's like,
all right, nice.
Sometimes you have, like I said, you can't really fake this stuff. You got to be the change that you want to see. And again, that's why I think that this is a good topic to have you on for, because you did something new last a little bit more than a year now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, there you go, more than a year.
Not a lot of people do dedicated MKA to YouTube videos, and I know like you've had like your up and down periods. Obviously, college is a busy time and everything.
Without question.
I kind of wanted to sit and ask, like, what motivated you to want to do YouTube? Was it just like something that it was just something that you always wanted to do, or maybe you thought about it, or like were inspired by somebody? I'm curious. What
Well,
led to
this is a
this?
pretty big topic because a lot goes into why I made YouTube videos for a year. This even goes back to like 2017 when I got on Mario Kart Cinema, made like 2 videos on there. Absolutely
original
horrendous
MKC.
performance. Yep, there you go. Absolutely horrendous performance on my end. But I think it was really when I lost weight. I changed my life. I got into an insanely good program at a really good school when 2 years prior I wasn't even making the honor roll. So I think how that ties into me getting into YouTube and being inspired to make all these
Confidence
videos and
boost.
really take that leap that not many people want to take is that I just felt so much better about myself. Like you said, the confidence boost was tremendous. And I really wanted to embrace that. And I felt like in like early 2020 when COVID was first like kicking off, for some time, I was thinking while school wasn't like that big of a deal because, you know, getting into the whole online space, especially for like my last couple months of high school, I didn't have that desire to be like super productive in school. And I mean, who really would in that situation? But
Yeah.
that's besides the point. I was thinking in April and May about, you know, what I really want to do with what I have right now because I knew university was coming up. This was before I decided to take a gap year. But
Yeah, there wasn't a lot really going on to begin
Absolutely,
with. You
yeah.
have to find things to do. So
yes, exactly. And I think COVID as a whole, especially the early stages, definitely opened up a lot of opportunities for people to really, you know, find more of themselves and to really see, you know, what sparks their interest, you know, what they can do, what they can't do, you know, different paths to take, whatever the case may be. For me, that was YouTube. And I didn't think that I would ever do YouTube again. I remember like after I lost weight and everything, like during 2019 especially, I just found it like really cringe looking back at my cinema videos and I thought, wow, I'm never doing YouTube again. That was horrible. This is clearly not for me. But I didn't channel in the moment that was a different version of myself. That was 2 years ago. So then 2020 comes around, mid 2020, and I decide, screw it. Let's knock this out of the park. Let's try to do this. Let's see what happens. And that's exactly what I did. I put my heart and soul into these videos, and it literally started from the very first one, my very first JPGiviner analysis. I tried to make something new. I tried to make something, you know, that people didn't expect, something that people would appreciate. And then when I uploaded it, I got mad reception. I got mad positive reception. I got so many comments, and it really just felt like incredible. It's something I never expected. I honestly thought it was just going to be a repeat of how my videos on Mario Kart Cinema did in terms of reception, just because I thought that's how I was with YouTube. I didn't think that I'd be able to take that leap to go to that extra level. I was just trying to do this for fun. So even though I kind of stopped making videos like in like late June, so I only really did it for 3 weeks at that point. What really motivated me, and this kind of goes back to your initial question, this is where I officially answer it. What motivated me to get back into it and really get into YouTube for 11 months, starting at the beginning or the end of September of last year, was that I felt that in the moment, that was what I needed to do. I previously deferred from first year university until this year, and I felt that this was my golden opportunity to see if this was what I could do, and to see what I was capable of in this realm, you could say. I knew that I had positive reception. I had a bunch of supporters right off the bat, even though I only had like 100+ subscribers at the time. And I knew that I would never forgive myself if I never took the opportunity to really see where I could go with it. And I mean, I'll be honest, I often undersell this, but I mean, gaining over 3,000 subscribers in less than a year is definitely something I'm really proud of. And I did not expect that at all. It
again,
wasn't
that's
what
like the numbers come in second, right?
Oh
You
yeah,
gotta
for
do
sure.
what you love first, and then
Oh,
kind
no
of
questions asked. But yeah, it wasn't really it wasn't my end goal getting to 3,000 subscribers, but it was something that I was really proud of in the moment. And even though my drive for YouTube and creating videos has diminished a little bit since going to university, because it's like a whole new environment. Like I have never felt so full of life in my entire life, pretty much, since going to university. It's quite awesome. But I mean, while I'm not like as excited to make YouTube videos over the break as I would have been like a year ago, I think it's still something that I'm always going to be doing, just because A, I really enjoy it, and B, even though I would say, or you could say that I've already tried, I still think that I would never forgive myself if I didn't keep hope alive and see if, maybe I can get somewhere with this. Because
So
whether I
I
do
don't
or
want
not,
to completely change the subject, but
Mhm.
I think we have something really interesting here that I want to
Oh, let's hear it.
interject and bring it in.
no, let's
So-
hear it. Let's hear it.
First of all, I think you sound like really happy, like way happier that you took this route instead of wondering if you could do it. And I think that's kind
Absolutely.
of like an important takeaway.
Oh,
like, just
without
in life
question.
in general. It's like, why sit here and just stay in your comfort zone if like you have ideas about what you can do? Like sometimes you just got to go out and do it, take a risk, and all of that. And I think this isn't just something that really goes with just you, but like really anybody. And this comes back to like the whole idea of making content in a community that doesn't have it a lot. That somebody is going to have to make the jump if they really are interested in this, if it's something that they want to do. And I think historically there's been a little bit of, I don't want to say anxiety, but like nervousness to really put themselves out there, because you see all these other communities and you have like all these big time streamers and all of that, and like it's hard to imagine them not doing this. But
I think
as
to
far
add
as,
on
like-
to that, I think this is
Go
a
ahead.
really important point to bring up, is that because so many people aren't willing to take that leap because they don't know what to expect, I think that also brings in a group of people who believe that those who are considering taking the leap or are going to take the leap, you have this group of people who I don't want to really say like, no, I should say this. Yeah, there's this group of people who will try to bring you down and try to demotivate you, and not even in a bad way, but as a way to, just kind of bring you back to what they see as reality.
As reality.
And-
Yeah.
Yeah. And in that situation, it's like, yeah, maybe you have these really big dreams, but it's like, I mean, yeah,
Not everything's going to
it's
succeed.
definitely not. It's not like a good thing to like just shut people's dreams down. But I mean, I can understand where these people would come from in the sense of like trying to bring people back to reality, just so that they don't go too far to the point of no return. And then if the dreams, don't come true, then they're fucked. So I can understand that. But
I think we need to
at
have
the
like a
same
mentality where it's like, if you
Mhm.
fail, then like who cares? Like you got
It
to
is
at
also
least
true, yeah.
try to do stuff to begin with. And
Mhm.
I'm with you on this. It's like, in the past, like people on the internet can be vicious sometimes. You're like worried that like people are going to like, like maybe you do something embarrassing and it's just like, oh man, this sucks. Now I have to live with this. But like, I mean, it sounds really easy, but it's like, what if you just simply don't care if like people are like going to be negative and all that?
I need
kind
to
of
add
stuff.
on to this because this is a
Easier said than
fantastic
done,
point.
right?
Yeah, I need to add on this because this is a fantastic point. So I was a little worried about this going into, like uploading on a regular basis. But over time, and it's especially clued into me when not how to play Mario Kart Deluxe, the best combos in Mario Kart Deluxe, when that video started doing really, really well, I got a lot of comments. While they were mostly positive, I got more negative comments as a result. And I think the biggest thing that I've learned from all of this is that you have to put it into perspective. These negative comments, people who are constantly talking shit, they are not doing what you are doing. And that's the bottom line. And they will most likely never be able to get to that level that you are at, just simply because their mentality is just in the dumps. Look, I'm not the biggest fan of naming names, but I will name a group of people. These Class A freaks, bruh. Okay, they were trying to talk shit about your boy, but I don't care. I embrace that. You know why? Because it makes me stronger. If you're wondering who my tweet was about, it's about those sons of a guns. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I don't care. I vibe hard. I give her full throttle. You cannot touch me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna go down that whole course of discussion, I guess, about
That's fair.
who's doing what and all that kind of stuff. But I would agree. Typically, it's like it'll only affect you if you let it. I would say, and
Absolutely.
as long as and I had the thought, right? It's like, maybe I'm gonna start streaming this year. Maybe take a risk. I haven't really done like cam or anything either, and maybe it goes horrible, and maybe nobody really. Maybe nobody tunes into stuff. Maybe people like laugh at you or something. And it's like, well, if they laugh at you, then at least that like the community's not worth like doing things for, right? And you can just focus your energy on something else. I think having answers is typically better than thinking about stuff. And
for sure.
the good news is that there's overwhelmingly more people that seem to support if you are really genuinely trying and doing a good thing. And my conclusion is that it is worth doing. And sometimes that comes with people that are, going to try to bring you down and all of that. But sometimes that's just the negative side to it. Then it's probably minor in comparison to the benefits and all of that.
Oh,
so
no,
if you want to
without
do
question.
something, yeah, I think the point is if you want to do something, then John and I are here to tell you that you should do it. Now,
Without question, go for it. Chase your dreams.
Yeah.
Don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. Go for it and do what you got to do. And do it for yourself. Do it for your heart. Do what you got to do and make yourself happy. That's the bottom line. And I think another thing to mention in regards to like the benefits, like the pros and the cons and whatnot, people who like you, people who will try to drag your name through the mud. I think something that's important to mention is even outside of the Mario Kart community, because for the longest time, and this was mainly before I lost weight, but I did have this idea that like people who aren't like in the competitive Mario Kart community would just think that it's stupid. And there are people out there like that, don't get me wrong, but it's like when you really embrace, who you are, what you do, like the stuff that you enjoy doing, like it'll definitely show. And if anything, if you embrace that, you tell people about it, it'll turn into a massive W. Like at university, all of my friends know that about my YouTube channel, about my brand, that I play competitive Mario Kart. And you know what? They all think that's freaking sick. They all think that's sick.
I kind of went through this myself at some point in time, like back when I was in high school and all that kind of stuff. I was like, oh, this is cringe and stuff. And I never really said anything to many people. There were a few people that I talked about and all of that. And this is something that, like, it took me a while to get over, really. And I was very hidden and all of that. But as time's passed and all of that, I mean, I've kind of become more open to it, open about it. And I'm not going to lie, it's not like something that I'm 100% over and all that kind of stuff. But, like, I'd say that more people know at this point in time. I'm just open about them. Surprisingly enough, like, a lot of people just think it's, like, a cool hobby and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, I wouldn't be doing something like this if didn't have this hobby. So, that's exciting, I guess. Just do what you gotta do, right?
It's true. Yeah, my best friend from university wants to join my Mario Kart team SX.
There may be some work to do, but I wish him the best of luck to get up to that Division 1 level.
Carter Bud, if you're watching, you heard it here first. You got some work to do, but best of luck, my friend.
I'm a believer. We're always team believers in this chat, except for the
big time.
They exist. All right, so here's the other thing. Not everybody is like this. Doesn't vibe with everybody. There's gonna be people that stream on Twitch, MK8D, and maybe they're just like a really talented player, and that draws people to their stream. I know sometimes there's like people, they'll get like 50 viewers, they aren't even going to mic or anything, let alone do camera and stuff.
True.
And I think it's worth noting, and it's like, people don't have to do this kind of stuff. Not everybody's gonna have like the same ambitions and all of that, but it is good for us the more people that, you know, are willing to do that. So I think what our goal should be personally, you and I and all of you guys in the chat who, you know, are interested in watching stuff, here's the thing. We aren't out to say everybody needs to, you know, do content and all that kind of stuff. But I would say that it is true that it is a benefit to the community, the more people who are willing to get out there and do this stuff, because the more people that do it, the more discoverability is going to go up, the more people are going to stick around, the more people that are going to be inspired or motivated and all that kind of stuff. And I think the goal is that we need to transform this community to make people more open to the idea of sharing, whether that just be personal stuff or, you know, streaming or doing YouTube videos. Because the more people that are comfortable plunging in, doing something that they want to do or have had thoughts about, the better that it's going to be for the scene and at large. And I think right now we're still kind of in like a period where people are a little bit nervous about doing all this kind of stuff. It's like, well, what if nobody cares? Or like, what if like it's not successful? And I think when there's not a lot of people doing this stuff to begin with, that kind of raises these doubts further, because it's like, well, I'd be doing something new, and if nobody else is doing this, I'm going to be the odd one out. And again, we have to change this mentality, and this is why I want us to, you know, do more stuff that's new. I don't think we've really ever had a stream like this before in our community where we just talk about this stuff. And
It's true.
I think this is an early step. Just talking about what could lead to success in the future, what could lead to, you know, more people getting interested in the game. And this starts with letting people know that it's okay to take risks, knowing that if something doesn't go off, that doesn't mean that it was a waste of time. And I think above all else, we just gotta be more supportive in general. And I think once we do that, maybe there will be an upswing in people that are willing to try something new, willing to put together a compilation or something like that, or maybe even try streaming on their own for the first time. So I don't know if you have any comments on that, but that's my personal thought, and I want to try to make it as easy as possible.
Add here. A few I could add here. Okay, so I would say for anyone who is forming any kind of doubt, any kind of self-doubt in regards to, you know, like stepping outside the comfort zone, trying something new. This is mainly for, you know, like Mario Kart content creation, but even anything in general. I think it's what's really important to remember is that people are not the dickheads that they might seem to be in your head. I've had these thoughts before too, and even more so because if we use YouTube as an example, I had the reception that my Mario Kart Cinema videos got. And to be completely honest, like, some of the reception wasn't even bad. Like, I got like decent comments on them, but obviously, like, when I look back, like, most of the people nowadays would look at that video and be like, look at this idiot. But point being,
it's okay.
Exactly. The point being, that was a big factor that kind of made me stressed out about taking that leap with what I've done with, you know, JPGiviner, my new YouTube channel. And so that was definitely a hurdle to get over, but I knew in my heart that I would never forgive myself if I didn't take that leap. And I think that's the most important message, is that, like, if you feel like in your heart that you have to do something, and this applies to anything in life. If you know in your heart that you have to make something happen, you have to take a leap, you have to try something, you owe it to yourself to go for it. Because if you don't, then you may end up at a point where you're just going to regret it. And it's going to be quite miserable. And, you know, we don't like that. We want to be positive. We want to vibe hard and give her full throttle. That's the way of life. So, you know, go out there, do what you got to do. And at the end of the day, like, people are going to be way more supportive than you think. And I really, really mean that. If you put yourself out there, you put your heart into it, you don't try to fake it, you don't try to put on a face, people will support the living shit out of you. Yeah, you're going to have people who don't like you. That's natural. But most of the time, it means you're doing something right. And that's something that I learned a couple months into my YouTube journey. The more people who don't like you have to have a balance to this, of course, but like if you start gaining
it can't just
people,
be like 10-90 or something
exactly,
like against you. But like at least then you have people supporting you, I guess.
Exactly, yeah. If you have a good audience, or if you have a foundation of people who you could consider your audience, then you have that right off the bat, and you know you're doing something right. So if you have people who dislike you as well, and that number starts to go up slowly but surely, but not too surely, then that means you're getting yourself out there more, and that means you're doing something right. And if you have the right mindset, it's almost empowering. It is empowering. I've experienced that. So at the end of the day, the main message here is just, if you have a dream, just run with it. That's what I say. Bottom line.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I've been had some good stuff. I want to do not an intermission, but a little bit of a break to address some of the comments real quick before we get back into things.
All in.
And also, firstly, Jules Luffy, Alfonsi, and I think Alex W03 before the stream. Thank you for the follows. That's appreciated. If you all want to help me, going for 700 before the end of the year. I don't know if we're gonna get there, but if you enjoy the content, feel free to do that. Second comment. Come on, Marv. I know we're both gingers, but I don't think that makes us look identical. Come on, man.
Come on now.
Can we get some Hollow Knight gameplay in the background? I don't actually have my Switch up right now. Hold on. I'm not gonna put a Hollow Knight gameplay, but we can at least put it up. Never mind. Oh wait, it's the last one. Or close. Alright. The other stuff. There were a few comments up there that I think are worth noting right now.
Sure thing.
I think there's two that stuck out to me. I think it was Koopa. He was talking about more people streaming on American evenings and all that kind of stuff, because there's not like a ton. Yeah, all cuts in the background. That's a big one, yeah. That's a little bit of a hurdle also. You'd like to have more people doing that. And Brandon also mentioned that it's easier for, top players to be the ones that stream. So I kind of want to, talk about this in general. And
for sure.
What makes a good streamer here? And for me, I would say that one way that you can really have an advantage, of course, would be to, just be a talented player. Kusan does it in Japan. He just streams stuff and people make the highlights for him because,
there you go.
He's sick at the game. And I think
that's the bottom line.
The other thing is, like, you gotta be entertaining also, right? If you're not the strongest player, I don't think I'm the strongest player, but maybe the fact that I can provide something that's not really there otherwise, maybe that can make me entertaining. That's the goal. And I think that the best streamers, tend to be both. You want to improve, get better, and and not all streamers have to be like this. You want, like, some people can just be genuinely hilarious, and that's enough. But
yep.
These people are the ones that are going to get new people to try all this kind of stuff. Or I don't know about that, Jack. Maybe, but we'll see. Maybe, who knows? I guess
no, that is a good point to bring up, though.
Yeah. Thing is, like, as far as our top players, I would say, I don't really think that there's like a ton that are doing streaming that frequently. There's some people in this community that are streaming. It's just a matter of people finding them, and that's going to lead me to my next major topic. But let's finish this one first, I guess.
For sure.
I don't know right now if we have the community that's willing to, really branch out and get out there. There's, some top players and top teams and all that kind of stuff. But, and this is kind of getting more into the meta discussion. Well, not meta, but like, how things are set up, right? We're kind of built in a team perspective, right? Where you have like a team that you're in, and you don't necessarily have to really get out of that environment. And what that can mean at times is that there's a lot of people that are going to be really close together, because they talk in their team chats every day. But what it may also mean, unfortunately, is that it's harder for people on the outside to meet you if you already have these pre-established friend groups. I know even going back to like high school for many people or middle school, you kind of have your cliques in every school and all that kind of thing. And I kind of feel like the community is somewhat set up in a similar fashion right now. And that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, but I think it's worth mentioning that we should be aware of it, and that maybe it would be good if people were willing to make an effort to, talk to more people on the outside.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I mean,
we haven't talked
to
that much to begin with. Like we had been both in the community for a few years at the same time. I don't know how much we had actually talked before, but
yeah,
we both kind of knew each
much
other.
Really.
But
yeah, we were both kind of there, but it was like we never really talked on like this kind of level, I suppose.
Yeah.
It was always just kind of like, yo, what's cracking, dude? Like in the moment, and then that's it.
Team Gen, let's go.
Yes, sir. But yeah, I mean, I guess for a lot of people, it can be. What's the best way to say this? I guess you just kind of like meet your people right off the bat in this community. You get into your teams. You kind of, if you don't have a team, you explore your options, that kind of stuff, and then you kind of vibe with those people, and that's really about it. Sometimes it's like, unless you were like already friends with them prior, it's like you are playing with people in lounge, but at the same time, it's just like you view them in like a different sense, obviously, because they're not your teammates. You're not like already friends with them and whatnot. So, I mean, and this is kind of like it's a tough topic to like really talk about because it's a very broad topic as well.
Yeah, it's hard to have like the solution for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Yeah, it's a tough one without question.
Oh yeah, I can't show that. Nobody saw anything. I have a sneaky third account that was just exposed.
Jake brought up a really good point. Why would mid to low level people want to stream when gameplay is constantly ridiculed? And yeah, I mean, that's a tough one too because
it's easy for us to just sit up here and be like, hey, like, if you get criticized or you have like a hater, who cares, right? It's easy, but it still doesn't change the fact that it can be hurtful. And again, this starts with prioritizing the right things and having people be respectful of other people. And I guess this kind of brings me to the next topic I was kind of talking about earlier is like,
sure thing.
There is a pretty natural divide in the community, in my opinion. I think a lot of this has to do with just how it's set up with like the clans and all of that, where everybody kind of has their friend groups already. But like if you have like a beef or something like that, a lot of times there's like an us versus them mentality that goes on that, quite frankly, may not be super healthy. And
definitely not.
It can lead to a lot of shit being talked, whether it's like out in public or behind people's back. But like you mentioned, sometimes there's people that seem like I don't know. There's people that like are probably that they seem worse than they actually are, or something like that. So as a result, you kind of act that way in retaliation, and it just goes back and forth, and it builds. And a lot of people, I don't know, they start getting an ego also. And I think what has happened is over time, there's undeniably been a little bit of hesitation from some players to want to, get to know certain people. And this is another big disadvantage for the future of content creation, because people may be not super willing to try something because, they fear that maybe they'll be ridiculed and all that kind of stuff. And It's not just as easy as pretending like the noise doesn't exist, because like you mentioned, if you're having more ridicule than people supporting you, that can be tough. And
it's brutal.
I think the first thing to really consider here is like, if like we really want this, if we want MKD to kind of take off, why not us? There's something that has to be fixed, and this kind of starts with maybe addressing that we have some differences between some of the higher division players and lower division players. And in my opinion, and I guess this is a take, I think it's solely the responsibility of the higher division players to be more welcoming, because they're kind of the ones that have been here longer. They're kind of the trendsetters in a lot of way. So if you want people to improve your game, make it more active and all that kind of stuff, it's the responsibility of the players at the top that kind of have like a difference in a power dynamic to be welcoming and make this community a place that people want to be a part of. And then maybe in turn that'll motivate more people down the road to wanting to contribute in the same way, or maybe streaming more and all that kind of stuff. And that could possibly be why we have not many competitive streamers right now, as opposed to more casual stuff.
For sure. I think to jump in, I think what a lot of people do in this community, and it's why, like you said, people are more worried to jump in, is that people view others in the community as players rather than people.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably like the worst thing you can do, because I mean, everyone, they're here to have some fun. They're trying to vibe hard. They're trying to play a game they enjoy. And I guess for some people who aren't as carefree as others, people can naturally kind of crack when someone's saying, "Oh, you should have done this. Oh, you're freaking stupid. Why'd you do that?" kind of thing.
I hate to interject, but before I did the announcement for this stream last night, I was going to do it, and there was something on the timeline. It's like, I feel like I should address this, and I mentioned it. It's just like a player that I don't think intends to necessarily be harmful, but they said something hurtful, and they attack somebody, and and this is the disadvantage for us. It's we play it, or at least in lounge especially, we play a mode where like 2 people can be isolated from the other 10. So somebody does something and it messes the other person up, but it also messes them up. So like you just have these exchanges that are created naturally by the game, where 2 people, I guess, get screwed over by the actions of one, and it helps everybody else, and that creates rage-inducing moments. And that doesn't make it okay to really attack people or to insult them because of that. And I think we need to crack down on that a little bit. And it's easier said than done, and you can't really completely get rid of toxicity in any online gaming community, I would say. Some people told me that. I agree with them, but I think you have to start somewhere, because the less this happens, the more people are going to be open about stuff, I would say. Sorry, go back to what you were bringing up.
No, it's definitely true. Yeah, people who, again, this is a tough point to bring up, because not everyone's going to be able to, embrace this, I suppose. But it's one thing that, if I was a streamer, I think one thing that I would do more than ever would just be, to embrace my mistakes, embrace my flaws. Because if you can do that in an effective way, in an entertaining way, then you can only really benefit from that. And people will find that more funny rather than feel the need to, bash you, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just really depends on the person, how they view it. So if you're streaming, for example, and you have you're streaming with live commentary, you're playing lounge or something like that, and you make a really bad mistake where you get sent from 3rd to 11th as a result.
I think it's worth mentioning that everybody makes mistakes too. This.
Yes.
Go ahead. Sorry. Nobody plays perfect.
No. That's important to bring up.
You just have to bring it up also.
Yeah, some people just don't understand that sometimes, and they, in the moment when they're watching someone play, they can't see themselves making that same mistake, even though it naturally happens. The streamer in the moment probably wouldn't have seen themselves making that mistake, but then it just happens.
That's fast.
At the end of the day, I think if you're someone watching a stream, I think that's definitely worth understanding that people are, not perfect. We're human at the end of the day. People are going to make mistakes hopefully not a regular basis, but on the odd time, the odd time, maybe more so than usual. Shit happens at the end of the day. And I think for the streamer, because there are going to be people who want to, critique you in that sense. Maybe in a bad light, maybe not in the light that you want. At the end of the day, understand that everyone makes mistakes and it's not like you're singled out in that regard, but also understand that it's an opportunity for you in the moment to, embrace that and, maybe turn it into like a little funny situation. And, that could lead to a funny moment for your stream, can make people more engaged, make people like kind of look at you more like a human rather than just a player. And I think that can all around lead to a win for everyone. It's something that I personally would do if I was a streamer, and it's something that I like to do in my videos from time to time. It's like, I'll do something really stupid. I'll probably laugh about it.
No, your analysis videos,
race.
like you'll do something and you'll be like, I got away with something here.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the hard things to criticize in your gameplays when nothing bad happens in the end, but like maybe you take a risk that you shouldn't have taken also.
Exactly.
I liked that from your analysis videos back in the past, because it's like pointing out, hey, everybody makes mistakes, even if it wasn't punished here. And sometimes it was punished, and you'd still bring it up. Everybody's fault and that kind of stuff. And
yeah,
there's a chat comment I kind of want to bring up also.
Let's hear it.
Somebody saying, everybody in the MKC stream becomes team war when the D1 player makes a mistake. And
that's facts!
This reminds me of something, actually. We're going to use the MKWE community here as a discussion point, I guess. But, there's like some top players that are very critical of people and all that kind of stuff, or maybe they're rude at times, and that kind of puts a target on their back, right? And then
yes,
they stream and they make a really bad mistake, and their chat just annihilates them. Because it's like, boys, we finally got him. We got him. Now we're going to let him hear it. Everybody wants to let him hear it, right?
Yep.
And that's happened a few times in our community, too. I'm not going to bring up any specific examples because I think I've probably been on the other end of it before also. At one point or another. I think it's really important to like distinguish, things like just trash talk that's like kind of in the heat of the moment in a match, and like also like genuine criticism and all that too. But there can be like a weird line on that, right? Because what one person's just saying in the moment may be taken personally also.
Yeah, for sure.
We don't need to talk about that, Koopa. Not right now.
Oh God.
We don't need to talk about that right now.
I think in the moment, the most important thing to remember is that everyone's human. Everyone is an individual person. And everyone makes mistakes at the end of the day. So,
and you should treat them as human, also. Everyone.
Exactly. That's the bottom line. People aren't gonna be, the perfect people that you want them to be, and everyone's different. You're gonna have to, just understand that. And I think the best way to put this all together is that, if you're a streamer and you are, maybe not on like your A game for a lounge match, for example, just know that, everyone goes through that. And even though you're on the spotlight because you're the streamer, maybe you have more views than usual, or maybe you have, like more eyes on you. I think what's important to remember is that, every single one of your viewers would probably be going through the same thing that you're going through right now if they were in your shoes. So, just understand that, you screw up like quite a lot in a race. It happens. It just happens. And you got to embrace that. I think that's the biggest thing you can do is just embrace it. Laugh at yourself too. I think if you could laugh at yourself, then everyone will love you. That's the bottom line. So,
yeah.
Going a bit off on a tangent, but yeah.
I'm reading this chat right now, John, and they're still letting me hear about the DCL clip. Fun fact, I literally can't watch it. I can't do it. I know people watch it like all the time still and laugh at it. And that's why I leave it up, right? I think it's super cringe. I was screaming.
Really?
It was funny. It was funny. But like I if I listen to it again, like like when you listen to your own voice and stuff, it's like oh and stuff.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's weird. Everybody says it's a great clip. It brings great and immense joy to everybody. But since everybody seems to be smiling every time, gotta leave it up, right?
Yep, exactly. Yeah,
The random
that's
people
key.
now. My Smash friends, I don't know. They're they had like their own bot and their server and stuff. I was like in a call one day and somebody like played like a rookie I hate this game MP3 file or something. They had like a command for it or something. It's like, are you guys fucking kidding me? One of them found the video, I guess.
That's
So
perfect. That's actually fucking
yeah.
sick.
Anyways, if you guys are gonna take one thing away from today's discussion, just people are human, right?
Bottom line.
So gotta treat people how you would want to be treated, I guess.
For sure, yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Mikkel brings up something interesting, and I think he may be the outlier here because I've heard I've heard that like the way you hear your voice tends to be different than how your voice actually sounds like. It's like when you hear like your voice recorded and stuff, it's like very weird and all that kind of stuff. But yeah. Sorry, that was really
it's
off
definitely
topic.
yeah. Oh no, it's a fair point. Yeah, it can feel really weird. And I remember like I definitely experienced this when I was first making videos, and like this was way back. This was in like 2011, I think, when I was like first getting things started. When I was like 9 years old, and I remember I'd watched my videos back, and I was just like, "What is going on? This is not me."
Yeah.
It was crazy. I couldn't see it. I could not see it.
All right.
Couldn't hear it, if you will.
I don't know, like if you can go much longer. Let me know. I'm content right now. I'm having fun. Don't want to take up the entire day though. So
well, I'll tell you what. I'm on break. I have zero responsibilities, so I'm
right,
here.
Let's keep on giving her then.
Let's keep on giving her. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so let's go back to a little bit of an interview question, I guess. When you started off, I remember it wasn't just MK8 videos. Like you kind of transitioned over to making MK8 videos. That was the game that you like. It's the game you're good at. Make tutorials, VOD review, all that kind of stuff. Wait, big raid? You say? What's going on?
Big raid.
Let's take a look here. Flow X, thank you. Party of 26. I'm here with JPGiviner. We're talking
yes, sir.
about
what's cracking?
We're talking about content in the community. Doing a little bit of an interview. No actual MK8 stuff today. I know it says we're playing MK8. We're not playing MK8. But feel free to stick around because I think this is an important discussion. If you missed the first hour or so and you decide that you're interested in it, I think we're going to put this on YouTube. So hope you all stick around. Glad to see some new faces. Welcome. So John,
big time.
Let's get back on topic. Don't want everybody to just leave immediately while we're not discussing anything. So
there you go. Let's hear it.
You were originally doing MK8s, or you weren't originally doing MK8 content. I mean, I guess you had posted some MK8 videos before, I think, but it's worth noting that you did a little bit of motivational speeches to start out.
Correct.
And I know we haven't addressed them like initially or like immediately, but I think some of the contents of those videos have come up in our discussion already. Sometimes I guess it would be some principles that you live by. Don't let people stop you from doing what you want to do. If people are bringing you down, you don't have to let it affect you and all that kind of stuff. And that kind of, I think this is interesting because it kind of bleeds into, the point of today's discussion being, if you want to do content creation, you just got to do it. You got to be motivated. And at the end of the day, this is what the community needs. We need more people. And Flow actually brings in some pretty good timing, I would say. Because I was thinking, it's like, what would be ideal is we could have a community full of people that, stream, have communities, people that want to chat, and people raid each other and all that kind of stuff. It's something that, as a Twitch streamer, I've wanted to do it very frequently. Because at the end of, like, a stream and stuff, it's like, well, how do you keep passing it on to other people and kind of keep this thing going? It's like, well, gotta raid somebody. So at the end of every stream, that's something I definitely try to do. Sorry, I mean, I got a little bit distracted there.
No worries,
Let's
no
talk. Let's
worries.
talk. Well, what do you still have? I kind of want to get back into your whole motivational speeches kind of stuff.
Let's hear it.
Is there ever going to be a return on something like that, or like is it stuff that you still
Um,
care about? Because I remember you were like at first very you very much wanted to do something like that for a living, if I'm not
yeah.
mistaken.
So this is my view right now. I'm still a kid. I still have a lot of life to live. My kind of vibe right now is that the whole motivational speaking thing, I think in the moment, I felt like I still had a lot to learn about myself and who I am. And so that's what kind of drove me to, I guess, drop that temporarily. Perhaps, I'm not sure. We're going to find out in the future. But yeah, I just think in regards to YouTube, yeah, I think Mario Kart was definitely the way that felt most natural to me, and that was the kind of stuff that I enjoyed making as well. Because I mean, the speeches, like, they were fun to make at first, but they
I
got
liked how you like
stale over
dressed up and you
time.
got like in your tie and all that kind of stuff. And then
Oh
in some of the
yes,
thumbnails,
sir!
you just pointed at the screen and
Oh
all that kind of
yes,
stuff.
sir!
That was fun.
Oh man, that was jokes, yeah. And you know, I really felt like that, and I felt like I was really in my element, very similar to how I was back in the motivational speaking days, in university actually, because and I may or may not go off on a tangent here, but I feel like it's worth mentioning as well. But in my first term of university, one of my projects that I had to do for business was like a case competition in a sense. So everyone had to we were put into groups in our individual labs, and we had to create a presentation on a recommendation for business. What the business should, like, what's the next steps that the business should take, like the decision criteria and like the expected outcome of our recommendation. So we did that, and I got all dressed up. It was a Zoom call, so we only needed like a professional outfit like on the top.
Yeah, pajamas
But
below is what you're saying.
yeah, you could do that. But I mean, I breed confidence, so we got the full drip going. We got the dress pants, the dress shoes, for crying out loud. We got all of that
The
locked and
shoes.
loaded. But at the end of the day, when I presented in the moment, I felt like I was going back to my roots as a speaker. I was like, just confidence was coursing through my freaking veins, for crying out loud. And I absolutely crushed it. And we did well enough to the point where we made finals in the competition. We got we did the best in our lab. So we moved on to the semifinals with all of the groups that did the best in their individual labs. And while we didn't make it to the finals, it was amazing, you know, being able to, you know, stop on 2 occasions in the case competition and, you know, see what we were made of. I personally crushed it in the Q&A for the semifinals, so I'm very proud of myself in that regard. That's besides the point. Going back to, you know, the whole motivational speaking and how the case competition connects to that, I feel like I definitely felt like I could really sell something when I was in my case competition. And that's almost how I felt with the motivational speeches, but I feel like I'd be even better at them now that I've, you know, gained more experience through business class as a way to, you know, really sell myself. You know, in the case competition for our presentation, my 3 slides that I were talking on were the big selling points. The introduction to get the viewer engaged or the audience engaged right off the bat. The intro to the recommendation, outline the recommendation and have the audience, you know, understand what to expect in an engaging manner. And most significantly, the expected outcome, what's going to happen as a result of this recommendation, and how the success of the business is going to increase exponentially. Being able to sell that stuff is critical, and it's something that I felt like I was just incredible at, and something that I could apply to motivational speaking if I were to ever get into it again. I know I got off on an incredible tangent, but
You're good.
yeah, you know, if I were to ever get
You're what
into
everybody's here
motivational
for.
speaking,
You're the gimmick of the day. Take all the time you need.
sir. Yes, sir. Anyways, yeah. So if I were to ever get into speaking again, which I can see that happening, but I would say that'd probably be years down the line. maybe even in like a decade, who knows? Because like we're thinking that far down. But if I were to ever get into it again, I feel like these presentations in business, especially, would just, help me to just breed confidence and have it course through my veins and just, do what we gotta do and give her full throttle the whole way through. That's it.
All right. So, good answer. That was more than I was expecting. I think you answered pretty much any question I could come up with. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I have a new topic. I guess I kind of want to gauge your opinion on now.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Like I mentioned, a lot of the things that we've discussed today are kind of not directly, but loosely related with motivational speech and all that kind of stuff. So, again, how do we exactly connect it to a cause that would be beneficial to both us and the community at large? And here's one thing that I think is worth mentioning. So some of the chat earlier was saying that, hey, maybe like I'm not a streamer or something, right? And or like I don't even know how to stream and stuff. So it's like, not everybody and I would say not even most people, even just like a fraction of people getting out there and doing streams would be probably a good thing for the scene and all of that. But one thing that I think everybody can do to promote a community that has more going on, more to it, is to try to be a little bit more sociable, be a little bit more interactive, and that kind of starts with just engaging with content to begin with, whether that's liking things that you like, or retweeting a cool clip, or just like participating in a stream chat or something like that. As far as like streams go, you can have a million viewers, and really who cares if nobody's really talking and all of that. The chat, like, that's the difference between Twitch and YouTube to me, is that YouTube, you go to watch something from start to finish. A lot of times it's a really well-made video with more thought put into it. But at other times, or not at other times, but the different, I guess, as far as Twitch streams go, the advantage that they have is that you get to actually interact with people while they're still going on, which is the disadvantage from your traditional just like, hey, look at this highlight video, or like, look at this like niche snipe that I made and all that kind of stuff. It's like, no, like the different I hate that I said that. Okay, the difference is like you get like the chat and all that kind of stuff, and if people are interacting, that's where you can build memories and all that kind of stuff. So in my opinion, if you're not really getting interested, or if you're not interested in doing content yourself, I think the best thing that you can do is to at least like participate, whether that's like leaving a comment, or like etc., or chatting like on a stream, or finding new people to talk to. I think that's kind of what makes people want to stay, kind of what gets people to feel welcomed. And if our goal is to be nicer and all that kind of stuff, and be more welcoming, as opposed to being angry at each other and all that kind of stuff, I think the way to kind of combat that is to overwhelm the negativity with positivity, because I think that everybody kind of wants that, right? Sorry, I've given you a lot of just like, hey, comment on this idea prompt, but I think you're good enough. You can figure something out to say, right?
Yeah, I got this. No worries. I'll take it from here.
All right, let's hear it. That was a lot of comments, I guess.
No, honestly, I think when it comes to trying to help people who are trying to get into like creating content in some way just by participating, I think that's a really good point to bring up, because whether it's a YouTube video or a stream, I feel like if you can encourage people to like continue doing what they're doing, if you're genuinely enjoying it, then that could be the one thing that they need to just keep going, or even the one thing they need to just have a better day in general. Like, one thing that I
Maybe better
experienced
for you as
over.
well as a commentator. It's like you have and maybe you're not really having much interaction, and you talk to somebody new. That can
Exactly.
make your day as well.
Yeah, I think
Sorry, go ahead.
I think one thing to bring up that like really brings this topic in like it brings it full circle is that I remember especially early this year, I had a lot of moments while making YouTube videos where I genuinely like was just sad on like I don't want to say a regular basis, but I definitely had like moments where I just wasn't really feeling good at all, and
Mm-hmm.
it just like really brought me down. And then I would get like comments from like my fans like in my Discord server or on my videos where they'd be really supporting me and saying like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, oh my gosh, like this helped me so much, please make more of this, or you're so funny, like keep making these kind of videos, I love it. And
Yeah, I had an
that kind of
experience like
stuff
that
just
this week as
feels
well.
hmm that
Like
kind of stuff just feels
go
so
ahead.
good. It feels so good, and it can really just lift up your spirits so much.
Yeah, positivity definitely goes a really long way. I would say. Uh, I imagine that most people who are here have been following me and all that kind of stuff. I had a tweet like a week ago or something, just like talking about like the struggle and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes I've like done streams I haven't felt necessarily the best and all that kind of stuff. And one night last week I was streaming, just wasn't really feeling it, and somebody left me a comment saying it's like, hey, uh, thank you for streaming and stuff. You may not feel it, but I like the authenticity. It's like I like that you're not just trying to fake stuff or put on like a persona and stuff. And
That's awesome.
that kind of lift me out of my funk a little bit, because it's like, well, these are the things that motivate. And I don't think this has to be through content either. Somebody can just like post like a clip or something on Twitter. It's like, well, if you like it, maybe just like it or something. Maybe that'll
There
do
you go.
something, or like maybe I. And this is where it gets difficult also, because like if I could, I'd talk to literally everybody. I'd give everybody like
Yeah.
an hour on the Rook podcast Twitch stream, but it's like you gotta pick and choose. We have limited time and all that kind of stuff, and I'd like to
It
get to
is
know
true.
people more, but you have to figure out, pick your time and try to help as many people as you can, while also doing yourself some justice too. Self-care is really important also. Sometimes like you're just not feeling it, sometimes you just gotta take a day for yourself and all of that. uh I'm guessing you've had some of those days before too.
Yes, I have, and I would say especially at like on the first couple months of this year, but I would say the most impactful ones were probably the ones I've had more recently. And I'm talking
Really?
the ones like on like the later end of university, as well as um like one of those moments that I had like a couple days ago where I was feeling really down. And I mean, I definitely had a heart to heart with myself, and I may go off on a tangent here again. I'm just gonna throw it out there right now.
That's okay, man.
But
It's what we're
yeah,
here for.
so yeah, I do want to kind of open up about some stuff that was on my mind, because I think
Go ahead.
maybe this could be something that people can relate to, in a sense, if they maybe feel like they're falling down this path, or maybe feel like in their head that they aren't like living up to like their fullest potential. So what I was going through, this actually happened like um on like midnight yesterday, where I was really going through it. Was I finished watching Spider-Man 2. I'm not sure exactly what happened in that movie, but in the moment I felt like I wasn't really living up to my fullest potential, and it felt really bad because I've done a lot of amazing things over the last 3.5 years. Like, I
Uh-oh.
lost about a year.
I think we're
Wait,
back.
what
Sorry.
happened? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
um,
think the frames just dropped a bit. I think we're good there.
okay. So, yeah, like I said, like I've accomplished so much over the last 3.5 years. Like, I lost 73 pounds altogether in about a year. I got into one of the best programs at my university when 2 years prior I wasn't even making the honor roll. I became such a better and more confident version of myself, someone that you wouldn't even think would be the person who I was back in 2017, early 2018. And so bringing that all together, I'm going to be fully transparent here. Midnight yesterday, I was like, my eating habits are out the window. My sleep schedule is non-existent.
Yeah, I was a
The only
functioning
thing-
human for like
Th-
2
this is
weeks,
probably-
and then holiday
this-
happened.
This is the seller for me right here. And this is what really got me when I told myself this. The only thing I was excited for in the future was to party at university the following term. That's what really hit me. And that's what really made me think about, you know, who I am, what I really want to accomplish in life. And I think even more so it hit me because for Christmas, I got a Bluetooth speaker. I absolutely love it. But on Christmas Day, like in the evening, I was jamming out to the tunes. It was my Saturday night playlist. And so like while I was jamming out, I was really mainly thinking about, you know, how fun it's going to be on Saturday nights at university. So it was like, it kind of got to me a little bit, but I had a really good conversation with one of my closest friends.
Guys.
My man. And that ain't changing, by the way. But I had a really good conversation with one of my closest friends at university, and really lifted up my spirits quite a lot. And I guess the best thing to bring up, or I guess like the main point I'm trying to bring up here is that I guess in regards to like the mental side of anything you do, and I think especially on the topic of content creation, because you're never going to always be on your A game. You're always going to have those days where you aren't 100%, where you aren't your full, true, best version of yourself. And I think it's really important to understand, you know, that is going to happen. And you have to be able to, fight through it, but also be willing to, you know, like open up about these things. Because if you never open up, then no one's what am I saying? No one's gonna understand like what's going on with you, and you're never gonna be able to. In some ways, you might not be able to break free from that curse, because at the end of the day, people, like, there's a lot of good people in this world. Yes, there are bad people, but there are a lot of good people in this world who are gonna be
transparent is so
there
cool.
for you.
I just wasn't for so many years, but like I've just been more honest recently. It's kind of nice. Just
honest, more open.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know. It's like I think it's just a really good thing to be fully aware of who you are, who you aspire to be, and also understanding. What's the best way to say this? I guess understanding, you know, like, it's okay to have bad moments. This is something that I had to deal with for a long time, because I would say, especially this year, I had to deal with the constant pressure of feeling like I had to perform at a certain level because of my past successes. And so
I was actually going to say
I
that.
would have these days.
When you have all these successes in a row, you kind of get addicted to the high. So when you stop having them, everything could just be fine, but like it just feels like bad. And that's what gets difficult also. You know, like when you start off doing like the YouTube videos and stuff, you're like, yo, you got 100 subscribers, let's go, getting like 50 views a video, and then like you're like doing the same thing later, and like you don't even have 50 views in like the first 10 minutes, and you're just like punching a wall and stuff.
It's
not
true,
literally.
dude. Oh my God.
If you're focusing on the numbers and stuff, you know, could happen, but you know, you start to expect more over time, and sometimes sometimes like when you have successes, like you just gotta be okay with maintaining good habits, I would say.
Important point to bring up here in regards to the numbers, especially. So I think, and I always bring this up when it comes to the numbers, there's always a mental barrier there where, and I especially had to get over this early on when I was hardly gaining any subscribers, like at the start of when I was uploading 3 to 6 videos every single week. When you put so much effort into one video, I'm talking on the YouTuber side mainly. If you put so much effort into one video, you upload it, you put your whole heart and soul into it, but it doesn't do as well as you put into it, that can feel horrible. It can feel like you wasted your time, and that is the easiest way
Just gotta make more. Just
to
gotta make
lose
more
motivation.
videos that are like the best combo in AD, and then everybody will watch those instead.
It's true too. Oh my god,
dude, I totally
but-
get this, and I have a funny story. It's like I used to upload MKW texture videos and all that kind of stuff,
Oh yeah.
and like I do like the Rook view and stuff a while back, and it's like hey, I'm gonna start talking about things that I think are issues, and some people like it and stuff, and then just randomly I'm like looking back at my old textures one day, and this texture hack video that I made for Block Plaza, some battle stage, just has like 500,000 views. I'm just like, bro, what the fuck? Literally what? I don't even like this texture, and it's like the algorithm's kind of stupid and all of that. But
oh yeah, it's
I totally
ridiculous.
get what you mean. I think bots rated that video. I don't know how. There's no way real people are watching that, but the algorithm's weird.
The algorithm does its thing. I've experienced that too.
So, I don't know if you had more on this subject. That was Mikkel.
Let me think about this real quick.
500,000 times.
I
think I only have a few other topics left before let people go and all that kind of stuff. Don't want to do this all day, I guess.
I'm totally down to just move on to whatever you want to talk about next.
Sure then. I guess do you so this is the topic that everyone makes fun of me about when I bring it up and all that kind of stuff. And
all right.
That topic's MK9 because it's like the perpetual, I don't know if that's the word. It's just like the existence of it's a concept, much in the way to me that Hollow Knight Silk Song's a concept that could exist, probably should exist, but there's literally no evidence that a reasonable person would actually believe it's on the way. And
it's true.
You have to wonder, and this question isn't even about MK9 because the new game comes out, you assume that people are going to be in on it, wanting to take advantage of like the new stuff. Maybe we get community growth at a level we've never seen before. Certainly possible, but
I can see it.
As far as AD goes, it's like what happens if this doesn't happen? What if we're like, okay, no new MK until like 2033 or something? I wouldn't rule it out. I don't want I want to rule it out.
That's the worst part.
That's
oh
like
it's scary.
It's scary to think about as somebody who wants something new in their favorite game series, but at this point, like, we have to consider the possibility that it's not going to happen at any time soon, right? At least consider that possibility. So, my question to you: is 8D good enough to be worth streaming for years down the road if no new MK is to come out? What do you think?
I think my perspective on this is that the community is still seemingly growing. So that's already a really good sign for the community and the game. But I think another thing too, I'm not even going to talk too much of this. I was going to say maybe if they're not going to put too much focus on Mario Kart or like a new installment, that maybe they'd push Mario Kart Deluxe a bit more in regards to like either DLC or like more competitive stuff, but that's just not happening.
I thought you were saying we're gonna move on to Chocobo Racing or something, or Garfield Kart. It's time.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Mario Kart Deluxe is just, it's the #1 seller, and that's just it. That's all you need to know about it.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Deluxe.
Oh,
the
shit.
Deluxe version of MK8 Deluxe.
Yep.
Could happen.
We're adding 8 new battle tracks.
I mean, to be honest, like, I'd be pretty cool if just new content releasing. I like the game enough that, like, if it, like, they just added new tracks and stuff, like, that would, like, appease me for at least a little bit. But I think if they were going to do that, it would have happened, like, over 2 years ago is the thing. It would be the most random thing. Like, this game's almost 5 years old. And it itself is a re-release. So it's like, there's no way that there's new content for it, right? There has to be something. But I feel like
think.
I like when I say that, like I just feel like there's a tinfoil hat, like on my head and all that. It's like I feel like a conspiracy theorist saying that they have to be developing something new, but like it feels so reasonable. But maybe it only feels reasonable because like I've already like just fallen to the conspiracy. Yeah, what
Blaze
if
actually
MK9
brought up a
comes
really
up?
good point.
Yeah, what if it's just
Yeah,
bad, right?
that'd be brutal, dude.
I think
I
it'd be
don't know.
I think it'd be fun for a while at least, but
I think so, and I think like
I mean
I mean
MKAD,
you never know
it's
with
bad
Nintendo.
sometimes.
You never know with Nintendo, but maybe they learned from their mistakes with Mario Kart by going from Mario Kart to Mario Kart Deluxe because like look, I personally had more fun with Mario Kart 8, but they definitely on an objective standpoint fixed a lot of problems with Mario Kart 8. There's no denying that.
Well, it's way
And
more
so
accessible now
without
because
question.
of the platform it's on and because of its game mechanics. And I
Mhm.
appreciate at the very least it's like okay, we got rid of this skill-based maneuver, fire hopping, but we're at least adding like an emphasis to soft drifting,
Yep.
adding emphasis to item play and all that kind of stuff. There's stuff
It's a
that
big
kind of
thing.
kept the try hard players around.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, it's interesting to think about this kind of stuff to be honest
I just
because
want to
I
play
don't
Water
know.
Coliseum, man.
I'm hearing you, man. I want to see N64 Bowser's Castle back in HD. I think that would be sick.
Should I tell him, guys? Should I tell him? It's not gonna
What
happen.
what's there
It's
to
not
tell?
gonna
It's
happen.
not
I'm
gonna
sorry.
happen.
Yeah, just
I
play
mean, never
Weemfi.
say never,
It's
man. We
there.
got freaking we got freaking
Weemfi HD.
Weemfi HD. Yes, sir.
I guess we've had SNES Rainbow Road like 5 games in a row. It feels like now, so
Hmm.
4 games in a row.
Yeah, I don't know.
Count tour.
Let's
I
go
count tour.
MKT.
I don't know. MKT's not MK9, but I still count it. It's weird.
I don't know when we're gonna get the next big Mario Kart. It's just like I was thinking maybe there's a chance in like 2020, and then we got home circuit.
Yeah,
I mean, if they're trying to run with the whole,
it's got to be time,
um,
dude.
if they're running with the whole 3-year thing, I mean, maybe 2023. I don't know. That's like the next. I think that's the next like possible time. Like the. But I don't even know, dude. It's such a weird topic because, like, Mario Kart 9, who knows, man? We've had Mario Kart 8 in some way since 2014. Come on now.
Yeah, I'm ready for the E3 2022 copium.
It's for real, dude. Like, I don't know
I've
what
been
to
on this
say.
train for a while, by the way, but Dry Ruins is going to be in the game. I don't know when the game's going to come out, but it's going to be in the game. I guarantee it.
That'd be
That's
nice.
my
I want to see
bold-
Toad's
that's my-
Factory in HD.
I want to see it too, but that's my prediction. But anyways,
I get that, yeah.
I guess the original topic. I personally think that AD is going to be worth playing for at least a few more years or so. So I do
can
want to
see it,
continue
yeah.
to pursue it. I do really think it'd be great for us if we could build something before. Maybe MK9. Every MK9 tweet postpones its release by a year. Yeah. Now, maybe it's a blessing in disguise for us that it hasn't come out yet. Maybe they're waiting for MKC to be ready. That's my wild perspective. Maybe we
Ooh.
maybe we have work to do, and maybe it's gonna come at the best possible time for us.
Oh,
It's a
shit.
possibility. For now, though, I think we have to accept. I think AD is good.
I think so, too.
I think we can get a lot out of it. I think we got to find ways to get a lot out of it, and maybe and hopefully make the community more accessible, so we can start having more people willing to do content or be comfortable trying new things. And remember, guys, treat everybody nicely, and maybe this will be something that's possible. One thing I'm personally going to try to do is beyond just actually I have a thought. I want to hear your input on it.
For sure.
I think we need to do a better job making people want to do content creation. So but like a lot of people are worried that nobody's ever going to really or nobody's gonna really. Sorry, I read a comment in the chat and I was like multitasking and I just completely lost it.
Subconsciously talking.
Yeah, I think maybe on Twitter I may want to like start like a ping 5 friends or something that stream 8D or something who are around the community or something, and maybe they ping 5 friends or something also, and maybe kind of get like a follow spree going on. So like and like
that could multiply.
Promote like rating and all that kind of stuff, because right now I think we need to desperately find ways to connect more people and try to start fixing these I guess what's the word, the disconnect I think between some of the higher div players, the lower div players. I think we need to make people try to like more comfortable with streaming in general and all that, or putting a cam up. I don't know if you think that's cool or not. The last thing I'm gonna ask, and you can answer this together if you want.
Sure thing.
Do you have any streaming plans for this upcoming year?
Oh shit! Here we go. Okay.
Talking about rating and promoting people.
Yes, that's true. No, I mean, I guess going back to the initial points, I think when I was first, this was in September of last year, when I was first telling people about how I was going to start uploading more regularly, now that I had all this time on my hands, like a lot of people told me that you're not going to make it. Troy got this far and that's as far as you're going to go. Whether that's true or not, that's besides the point. And Troy's doing well anyway, so who cares?
Dude, if you
I think
that's a crazy thought. It's like, oh man, you can only be as successful as Troy and do it full time.
Yeah,
how horrible.
Come on now.
MK, we may have an advantage over us though with like the custom tracks and all that kind of stuff. You know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna become an MKWee streamer soon also.
Here we go. Rocky's
why
getting
not?
back on Weeb.
Yeah, I am kind of having thoughts though. If like if they're not gonna give me a new MK game, why not try to like go back and prove that I can compete or something like that? Maybe I'll get more viewers from both
world's your oyster.
Yeah, we'll see.
Anyways,
yeah, back on your stuff.
My point in bringing this up is that that is definitely a flaw in, I guess, people's perception towards going after what you want. Because I had people telling me like, you're never gonna be able to get like over 1,000 subscribers or anything like that, and like I never like get like. I never get any kind of momentum just because it's hard in this community because no one else is doing it. And when you have to get the ball rolling, quite literally, like just on your own, there's pressure on you for sure. But I think if we could all come together and be supportive of each other, and if someone has something that they want to go for, whether it be like they want to become a big time streamer or they want to, just create an all around social media presence or even just anything in life. I think it's important that we become more supportive and become more open to, just supporting each other and helping each other, get to the levels that we want to get to.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a great way to end off that point. Now getting into me and streaming.
I have one comment actually.
Okay, let's hear it.
I think we should emphasize also that's like you don't have to be like a giant fan of everybody also, because that's just not how things work. It's not natural. The thing to really hammer home though is that simply, I guess supporting just the idea in general of people doing things that they want without having to like worry about all that kind of stuff, or like being open to trying new things out, whether that's watching or doing something on your own. I think that will go a long way. Anyway, let's get back to your point, and then I want to address something in the chat.
All right, sounds good. And, to anyone watching this, if you're ever feeling any doubt in your mind, I can guarantee you, and you can apply this to many things in life, when you take that leap, you're never going to regret it.
Uh-oh.
I can guarantee you that.
Okay.
When you take the leap, if you upload that video, if you start that one stream, you're not going to regret it. I can guarantee you that. I'm the evidence. Rookie's the evidence. So many other people in the online space are the evidence. Go for it. That's my advice
hey,
to you. And
at the end of the day,
you have my
at
absolute support.
at the end of the day, we may have already like reached like the peak of like our success or something. Maybe it doesn't get better, but it's like
Maybe.
that's okay. Like obviously you want to do better. Obviously you want to, have like amazing success or become as big as Troy or anything. But it's like if you're gonna, trying is like at the very least worthwhile in its own right. I think.
Yep. I
Is there
absolutely
anything else
agree.
you wanted to say?
On that topic, I think we summed it up quite well. So if we're going to get into what the people are questioning in regards to
I have like one
JP
final
Streamer.
topic.
All right.
Well, let's do JP Streamer first. I want to hear
Okay.
about that.
So, update on the internet situation. So, my internet service provider, who was supposed to be rolling out the fiber optic cable in my area, well, what I do know is that we are on the priority list in regards to, when we're going to get fiber optic installed at our place. So previously, we were expecting to get it in spring, which I was really sad to first hear that, because around spring is around the time that my winter term will be over and I'll be back home and I'll, want to stream. And so I was really bummed out. But now that we're on the priority list, there's a chance that we could be getting that full throttle internet at some point soon. But if I'm being completely honest, I will believe it when I see the speed test. That's the way I'm going into it right now. And, if it comes through, it comes through. If it doesn't, I'm still going to be uploading, believe that. But yeah, I mean, it really sucks that I can't stream over the break. It's something I really wanted to do because we were supposed to get this really good internet in September of this year. And it just kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And then, yeah, now it's like the latest we'll get it is this spring. So, like, come on now. Kind of ridiculous, but what can you do, really? I feel like I've always gotten really unlucky with internet over the years. So, I'll take anything, but I'll believe it when I see the speed test. That's the bottom line.
Got it. All right. So hopefully we're watching some John streams at some point this year.
Yes, sir.
We'll see when it happens. Is Twitter, YouTube? I'd say Twitter is probably the best way. Or he has his own Discord also. I guess just message him if you want that or something. Maybe there's a different place.
I can pop the link in the chat if you guys want.
If you want to do that, you can pop the link in there.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna start the final topic, I think, for us. And this is something I wasn't really planning on talking about, but Koopa mentioned, I think, like, what does Troy actually do for the competitive scene? And the answer, I think, is I'm not actually sure if he does much for it anymore. And I think, again, this has a lot to do with where the communities are at this point in time. The thing is like, you need to have like a beneficial relationship for both a streamer and a community and stuff. And again, a lot of that comes with like having a direction. And I'm not exactly, and this isn't like a shot like, like MKB or anything. It's like, I don't know exactly like what the direction is. I don't know if Troy does either, or if like he necessarily wants like the association or partnership. I think like if there's like a big event, he'd like surely be like, oh yo, let's talk about it because this is something cool about the game. But there has to be like a benefit to a streamer wanting to help out the community and vice versa. And if like, and obviously I'm a little bit different because like I'm an administrator for MKC, so of course I'm gonna always support it and that kind of stuff. But like for other AD streamers and all that, even people who like play the competitions and all of that, it's like if they still see the community as like a place where like maybe like they aren't like fully comfortable yet, or maybe like the lounge is like not like they had a bad experience there because like somebody was like rude to them or something like that. Like this is stuff that all factors into like wanting to like kind of give back and all that kind of stuff. So again, this comes down to really believing in a change that we can do, because I don't think we're there yet also. And I think Blaze is also right that there'd be less people joining the scene if there was no Troy too. Uh,
That's true.
Final thing is like the community itself has got to be like willing to well, I would at least like MKC to be very supportive of like creators, giving them decent platform, giving them tournaments to host, all that kind of stuff. Maybe rating them or featuring them like on like the Twitch or YouTube or at some point in time. We can get into the details later on. I think that's something that would be interesting, but before we can really get into I guess before we can really get into this potential era we're talking about of streaming being more prevalent in the community, we have a lot of changes that we still need to work on. A lot of it has to do with the positivity, but a lot of it is just the community actually needs to believe that this is achievable. And there's not a lot of big 8D streamers. There's always been a few. I know Sliver a while ago was really popular when he was active and all of that. And I think Technical recently has kind of popped off when he's not doing Geometry Dash and all that kind of stuff. Like there's exceptions and all that. But
yeah, for sure.
As far as like people who are like like wanting to like rep MKC pretty frequently, it's like we gotta do the best that we possibly can to get that trust from our creators, and also we need to we kind of need to have the why not us mentality. Something that like it's easy to doubt when there's no sustained success, I guess, in like an area for a certain point of time. This happens like with like a lot of sports teams and stuff that are bad. It's just kind of like, well, nobody believes in them, but then maybe they start putting some successes together, and then at some point they're like, hey, why are we letting other people dictate what can happen? Why not us? Why can't we be the change that we want to see? And I think there needs to be a belief, and that starts from simply motivating people and getting people to believe that it is possible. So this is really it for me. I'll let you do the wrap up here. My message is that we got to be more positive. Now we have to believe that we can, truly make a difference out there and improve on where we're at now. And just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean that we can't get there.
I absolutely agree. And I think to add on to that, I think if people can just become like more supportive of others and be more open to the idea of people, stepping outside their comfort zone, whether it be other people or themselves as well, that could be another big factor into, taking the community to that next level beyond just, I mean, I shouldn't say just like lounge and MKU and whatnot, because obviously those are really big factors into why the community is at the point that it is right now. But I guess what I mean more so is that the community has more potential, for sure. We have more faces, and with that comes more potential for people to really show us who they really are. I think you're a good example of that, Rookie. I think I'm a good example of that. I think people in this stream could very well become good examples of that if, it's something they're interested in. And I think, it's never too late to try. Don't ever think it's too late to try. And always be willing to, go after what you want. If you feel like in your heart you have to make something happen, then you have to make that thing happen, or at least make an attempt to, go for it and see what you're made of. That's the bottom line. I've said the bottom line probably more times than I've ever said anything in my life on a regular basis, dude. But
I repeat myself also.
Oh yeah, it takes me back to that one cast where I just said, like, weather the storm.
dude, I would give examples of like the same things I repeat over and over again. Sorry, there we go. But y'all are gonna have to work for that. I'm not gonna let you guys figure it out easily.
Oh shit, gonna have to grind the VODs for that.
Yeah, gonna have to grind the VODs or participate here before you get to make fun of me.
Yeah, I always have these moments. I always have these moments where or not moments, but like these situations where I will subconsciously pick a certain phrase to say, and I will always use that phrase to like conclude a certain thing. Sometimes it's just on a regular basis. So I say like, what's cracking? Do what you gotta do. Keep on giving her. Like all that kind of stuff is just ingrained into my soul at this point. Yeah, so it's like I'll just say that on a regular basis.
I like rotate. Because recently I've been saying I imagine like a ton when I'm thinking about stuff. I've like noticed that recently. I think it's like a new thing. So once I like start thinking, it's like I keep saying stuff like that. I need to stop.
Mhm.
I stop, but then like a new one emerges like a little bit later.
Yeah,
It was
it's
Sketch who
such a
pointed out that I
tough thing to
say
break.
Sketch would point out that I saw like in honesty or something after like every sentence online like a year ago or something. I was like, dude, I gotta stop in honesty. Haha, it's a joke. Yeah, it was a really bad joke. Sorry.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, it's like everyone, everyone has things to point out about themselves, other people.
Mm-hmm.
If you embrace that, nothing can go wrong. That's the way.
Yeah.
That's how I roll personally. If you embrace it, then it's all wins, all across the board. That's my vibe. But I
Sounds
guess with
good.
that being said,
I think we may
I
be
don't have
done.
anything else to add. That's probably gonna be it for your boy at the very least.
Blaze is making that up, by the way. 100%.
Is he though?
He definitely is.
How will you confirm it right now?
Dude, I don't want to confirm it. Like, I'm kind of scared.
You just have to search honesty, bro.
I have streamer mode also.
Oh, fair enough.
So, I don't know for sure. You know what?
Either way.
I'll
trust your
DM.
judgment. I'll trust your judgment on that one.
I actually
He sent it to me.
No, Blaze sent it to me. Like, he's actually right. That's actually embarrassing. I hate this. Don't send the screen, boys. But like, it does look legitimate, so we'll go with that.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Can't Photoshop that too quickly.
All right. Anyway, I think this is a wrap. The only reason why I haven't really ended this for sure is because I don't really know who to raid yet. I've been looking for like community content, but it doesn't appear to necessarily be obvious right now who I should. Like, I usually look for like a war, like a lounge or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but, I guess this is the time where it's like that kind of stuff starts to not be as common, I guess, because lounge usually takes place in the morning Eastern time.
Yeah.
So
Linkos is live.
A little bit tougher to find stuff.
Stream.
It would be nice if people stream more often in the evenings. I know someone mentioned it earlier, but yeah, that would actually be really cool.
It's weird because like I feel like there's nothing to do in evenings because lounge kind of like dies before like Japan wakes up again.
Yeah,
but like that would be the best time for me.
Yeah, and honestly too, it's funny that you bring that up because like I bet a lot of people feel that same way, and it's like. Those are those same people.
That's why I tried to do the MKen thing earlier, where we could like have pickup games and stuff. But like when I watch
Motivation, that has potential in my opinion.
I think it still does too, but I don't know exactly when we'll do it. I don't know. Maybe we can like try to like make it like a content hub or something also, or like people can like come together and share stuff. So
yeah,
we'll see.
It almost feels like the AU lounge. It almost feels like the AU lounge, where it's like. An AU because like launch was like really active for like a couple weeks and then it just completely died.
Yeah.
And I think
do you remember back in the day,
pretty cool.
Lounge used to be like seasonal. Like we just like run it every once in a while, but
oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Then it would die out,
funny.
but then people would gain motivation again.
Yeah, it's like you go from season 1 to season 2, except it's just a whole new lounge.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it used to be like. Now it's just forever. Cinda's very satisfied. Yeah.
Oh no, and as he should. Yeah, lounge right now is just popping off like crazy.
Sorry, wait, hold on. Actually, I keep thinking that like I freeze you, but like I'm not actually freezing you. It's just like the lag of like looking back. I think we're good.
The struggle is real.
All right. Anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in today. This is where it's gonna end. We're gonna raid Linkos. I think it's one of my MK7 rivals. Back from CB represent. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I think this will be a YouTube upload. Pretty unedited,
I can see it,
I would say. Well, at least if I have John's permission, at least, to do my channel for this.
Oh, it's all good. You do what you gotta do, homie.
We'll do it. All right. Follow him on Twitter if you haven't already. I feel like most of you probably have. That's the thing. We need to get more people from the outside in to AD stuff, but maybe we can do it eventually. His socials and stuff are below. Keep an eye out if he's streaming soon once the internet situation gets solved.
If it gets solved, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah. If.
Well, here's what I will say though. This is my last little point.
Okay.
I already have my living situation figured out for next year at university. And I do know that the internet where I'm going to be living is supposed to be very, very good. So, I think either way, regardless of what happens with this fiber optic stuff, could see your boy doing a wee bit of streaming here and there at some point next year. I can see it.
Very exciting. All right. So, with that being said, thank you all for tuning in today. If you liked this, let me know. Feedback is interesting. Maybe I'll try to get some different guests in over time. That'd probably be a good thing, right? Maybe we'll have John back at some point in time also.
Who knows?
John, I'm gonna make a final apology if my stream had you frozen for like any extended period of time. I don't think it was too bad, but it's very possible. With that being said,
I'll apologize. I will apologize if my webcam, which I should say when my webcam,
I think it was okay
frequently made me look like a ghost.
I think it was for the most part fine.
Yeah, I think so too. I checked every now and then, and it seemed pretty good for the most part. So yeah, not too bad. Not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. So we'll take that.
All right. Well, that being said, this is it. Follow if you want. It's appreciated. Still trying to get 700 on the year. It's looking like we're gonna fall short, but it would be appreciated. Maybe back tonight with actual gameplay. We'll see how I'm feeling. Shit. There's no other things to say. Thanks again for coming out.
Except keep on giving her!
And John, thanks for joining me. This is fun. It's glad that we could
of course, thanks for having me. Fun experience, without question. Yeah. Maybe we can do this again at some point.
Stuff, right? New stuff is always interesting. So
new is, can't go wrong with new,
Yep.
That's just how we roll.
Thank you everybody for coming in today. We'll see you next time. Discord server is below. John linked his in the chat earlier. If you scroll up, maybe he'll post it again. I don't know. We will see you all next time. And John, your line.
And keep on giving her.
See you later, boys and girls.
Bye-bye.